So at the Met Museum, um, I saw these four pieces that really stood out to me. Among a lot of the Renaissance and the very old pieces, there was a lot of, I went to see the modern art, and I first saw this Helen Frankenthaler, I think that's how you say it, piece, and I really liked the colour palette used, and I really like the imperfectness of it all, and some of the marks haven't come out quite perfect on the canvas, and I think that's really nice, and it fits with my theme quite well, and it's very abstract and a merge of things, but the colours have also worked together well, and there's composition going on with blank spaces and then busy spaces, so I think that works really nicely, and I really like that and would like to incorporate some of these marks and shapes into my work. And then I saw this Cy Twombly piece, which I also really like the scribbliness and the colours of, because it's quite soft colours but then some quite aggressive marks, which is really interesting. I like the kind of way it's all in the middle and there's a lot of busyness and then it fades out. I think that's nice. And the scribbly marks are really nice, and you start to see kind of images of things if you look at it for long enough that you can kind of think, oh, I think that looks like that. So that's really cool and interesting, I think, and I like, again, it's very natural, it's not done very perfectionisty, so that's really lovely. I also saw this Michael Armitage piece, and it kind of made me think about, I really used to like painting bodies in this very abstract way, and I'd maybe like to try that again because I really like his use of colours here and the abstractness of the backdrop, and the pinkness makes that body pop, and the face of the body is very abstract, so I really like how that's done, and maybe inspired me a little bit to try drawing and painting some bodies again in very abstract ways, and then kind of maybe linking this to my theme a little bit with the way that we're not perfect and people shouldn't just be painted and represented in art in a very generic way, but quite abstractly, and also how do people come across, how do they represent themselves as opposed to how they actually look. That's a great way for art and people's personalities to be represented in self-portraits. Whereas when you take a photo, all you're really getting is how they actually looked at that moment, but through a painting or a piece of drawing or printing, you can capture how someone felt. I also saw this older piece from the 15th century, which was actually a cup, but I liked the style of the drawing on it, of the man, and it's done very abstractly, and I thought that was really lovely. I like the marks in it, and I did a little study of it in my sketchbook. But also I like that there's marks behind it, and it looks like they've almost gone over those marks. And I kind of used a bit of that within my sketchbook going on in the trip, where if I did some marks and then I didn't really like them, I'd take a finer pen and do something over the top, and it would bring it all together, and then those marks in the background looked like they still had meaning, and they still had a purpose to make the piece interesting, but you're just enhancing them and going over them and building up layers and layers until you like it. So I thought that was really cool.